Today I want to talk about a big decision I made in my life, which was I moved to Los Angeles, which is where I am right now. Um, and this move was probably the biggest thing I did in my life, most adult thing I've done in my life. And I just want to talk about it, talk about how I did it, and how you can do it too if you're thinking about coming here. So stay tuned. So how did I get here? So I interned out here the summer of 2017, which was the summer going into my senior year of college. I got into this awesome program called the HBCU in LA program, and that summer I was fortunate and blessed enough to be able to live out here for those 3 months and also work in the entertainment industry. During that summer, I interned with BET Networks. So after that summer, I made a lot of connections, which I'll come back to having connections. We'll talk about that. Made a lot of connections. Then I went and enjoyed my senior year. And during my senior year, I'll be honest, I'm from the South. I'm from Florida. I went to school in Florida. I definitely had talked myself out of moving back to LA because the biggest thing about moving to LA when you are not from around here, especially when you're from across the country, is wow, that's really far. I'm going to be really far away from my family. So honestly, the dauntingness of moving out here really hit me during my senior year of college. So honestly, I put it off. I had decided, not sure when I decided, but I definitely decided I'm just going to stay on the East Coast. I'll move to Atlanta, and that'll be that. And then the founders of the HBC in LA program, which I'll put the link to that below, came to my school because they do a college tour, and I spoke to one of the founders, and she just, she's very supportive that I wanted to go to Atlanta, but she also just really encouraged me, if fear was the thing stopping me from coming to LA, this fear of being away from home, being on my own, be doing something new, if that was the one thing stopping me from coming to LA, that she just really encouraged me to rethink not coming if that was the one thing stopping me. So I really took that to heart. And not too long after, I want to say maybe that night, or definitely by the end of that week, I reached out to her and let her know, hey, I'm going to come again. I'm going to go to LA. Also had a conversation with my mom where she just really encouraged me and said that, she supports me moving and going for my dreams, and she knows it's my dream to write and be in the entertainment industry, so that's what I want. My family is here to support me, so that really gave me a lot of reassurance and kind of closed the book on a lot of the fear I had of leaving my family and being so far away. And so by second semester of my senior year, I went for LA super hard and really started applying. And I started specifically applying for internships, which is what I would encourage people to do if you are trying to make the move to LA right after college. Come with a plan, come with something lined up, and when I say something lined up, I mean a job. Or if you have savings, come with, a couple $1,000s in savings if you can manage that. Do not come here with nothing. I do not suggest that. I know that is the age-old story of moving to big cities like LA and New York. You come with nothing. You have only $200 and a dream, and you come here, and that's great. That story is wonderful, but that story is unrealistic. During my senior year, I applied to jobs and internships, but I ended up getting back into the HBC in LA program. They have housing for us, so I lived out here again for those 3 months in the housing provided by the internship program. I interned with TNT TBS, which was a fabulous internship. When my internship came to an end and I didn't have anything immediately lined up afterward, once again I was presented with this opportunity to go back in my shell and go back home, which you will see, or just making decisions like this, coming to big cities like this, going full force into your dreams like this, you're going to have so many moments of, oh, it's easy to retreat, let me just go retreat, and I can just figure stuff out back at home in my comfort zone, figure stuff out, where it's easy. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to literally like pack up and just go right back home. But there's something about this place, which brings me to my next point and advice for if you're coming out here, is you have to have a go-getter mentality, because everybody here does. So I started applying, and what I did that really was the difference maker was I started reaching out to people I had met through interning, just through going to networking events, and I told them, hey, I'm applying now, I have these internships under my belt, looking for a full-time job. And they helped me. I sent them my resumes. They pushed me to the recruiters and hiring managers that they knew, and they really helped me just get my foot in the door at a lot of places, and even even interview different places that I probably never would have gotten interviews at if I had reached out to my connections. So definitely utilize the people you already know here, the people at your past internships, whether that's your bosses or your other interns, your other co-interns that you were with. Ask them, especially if people already have jobs, ask them for just advice, or just if they hear anyone hiring, use those connections. So I eventually applied and got an internship at Nickelodeon, and so that kind of solidified my stay here, or at least my job here. I was set for money. When it came down to money, I had more money than I previously had, but I still needed housing, I still needed transportation around the city, different things. So once again, I reached out to one of my very, very good friends, who's actually my roommate now, and at that time I reached out to her, and I lived with her then too, but I didn't have my own room, I was living on her couch, but during this phase, when I began my Nicola internship, that was probably the most humbling time for me, because I literally, in terms of material things, and probably from an outsider's perspective, I had nothing. I didn't have a car. Only thing I had was an internship. At that point, I was working, I believe, 25 to 28 hours a week, which is far from full-time employment. I was living on someone's couch. I was taking the metro every day, very far. I was taking metro from downtown to Burbank, which is a very far trip to take every single day, morning and evening. I was so humbled at that time. Not that I was ever cocky before, but to be in such a place where really I'm relying on like a lot of other people to live and to do like these basic things was hard for me, because I always like a sense of independence. So such a humbling time, and I would definitely encourage anyone who is moving out here, who may have to go through humbling times like that they don't last, but to use those seasons of your life to encourage you and to build yourself. Because during that time, what I did was I would pray. I really focused on building myself up. Who do I want to be? Working on myself, writing more, developing these concepts and ideas I always had in my head. Also focused on being a good roommate. Even though I was on the couch, I didn't have a room, but I still was a roommate. So being able to humble yourself and being content in seasons where you're not where you want to be yet. So I encourage you, that's most likely going to happen when you come out here. You're not going to be exactly where you want to be, but I encourage you to work harder. Like I said, plant those seeds of gratitude, of love, of joy, of peace. Work on yourself, build those things within yourself, even when it seems dark and hard. And I am a living testament of those seeds harvesting into wonderful things down the line. So I eventually got hired. I now have a full-time job. I'm now living in my own space, my own apartment, not by myself, but with roommates who I absolutely adore, my very good friends. And just to see the turnaround, I literally decided to move out here permanently. I count September 2018 was when I permanently said, or officially said, I want to be out here. I count that as my moving date, quote unquote. And so from September 8, 2018 to I moved into this apartment August 2019, the mid-August. So you're looking at exactly almost a year of me making the decision, living on my friend's couch, not barely making ends meet, but like not having nearly enough money that I wanted, to having honestly more than enough to live, and just being super blessed. And there's always room for growth, and I always strive for more and pray for more and believe for more. And so this isn't the end all be all, but you're still talking about a year transformation, from when I moved out here to now, where I have a lot more things and doing a lot more than I wanted to do. So if you're moving out here, I just encourage you to have faith, and to, like I said, come here with a plan. Come here and try to build connections to get your foot in the door. Don't overlook small opportunities like internships or like maybe temporary jobs, temp positions. All those things are super helpful in getting you to where you want to go. Another tip I will say is a big part of moving anywhere, but especially in this huge city, it's important to find your tribe. So if you're coming out here to LA, research like organizations and groups, things that you would want to do. If you like to work out like me, look up like workout studios, yoga studios, dance studios, things that you want to do. I hear of so many people, and I experienced it also myself, people coming out here being lonely because you are so far from home and you're moving out here on your own a lot of times. You need a tribe. Build your tribe. And so that's how I moved here to LA. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there's anything I didn't cover, anything you want me to elaborate on, let me know in the comments below and I'll respond to you, or maybe I'll make a whole nother video. Living out here has been really amazing, just so eye-opening. I feel like I've grown in this last year and a half more than I've grown in college, honestly. It's kind of really interesting. Maybe I'll make another video about how I've really grown out here. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.